Okay, so without further ado, let's just quickly review the CRM process now. So as I mentioned, that NetSuite offers the CRM module for companies that are interested in tracking the CRM activities within NetSuite. So yeah, I mean it's a great feature, and it's important that you are also aware of the CRM cycle.
Hmm.
Okay. So leads,
Okay.
again, leads is someone who is interested in buying your services or interested in purchasing your services or goods that your company offers. So the sales and marketing team in a typical CRM process would be tracking all the leads or all the prospective customers, and then would be working with all those prospective customers maybe via email or a phone call or maybe via physical visit to those leads, and would try to persuade them to finally make a sale with the customer, right? So
Okay.
whenever your company will get a lead, you will create a lead record in NetSuite, and let's quickly see how to do that. So, so whenever there is a new lead, so let's say whenever you find an organization or an individual who is interested in your services, maybe they inquired about your services via email or whatever, the medium is, you can go in list, relationships, and you have leads over here. So you can
Yes.
click on leads. And here, essentially, you will be able to see all the leads that are currently open in your NetSuite account. And if you
Hmm.
need to create a new lead, you can simply click on new lead button over here. Okay. So you will notice that this is essentially the same form that we saw on our customer record last time. All the fields are pretty much the same that you will see here. You have the type, whether it's a company that is trying to purchase your goods or an individual. So when you select individual, you have to select the name. All right, you have to give the name. When you select company, you have to give the company name. So let's say there is a new company point star INC that is very much interested in getting my services. I'm gonna give the company name, and here you will notice that there is a status of lead. So
Okay.
you can see if the lead. These are all statuses related to the lead now. In the last session on the customer side, we had the status related to the customers. Now, since we are on the lead form, we have all the status related to the lead. Now, lead could be a qualified
Yes.
lead, it could be a new lead, it could be a dead lead. You can set your statuses accordingly. So whenever there is a
Yes.
new lead created, by default you can set the status to new lead. When you do all your preliminary actions, once you validate this lead, once you make sure that this is an actual lead, not a scam, you can then convert this lead into a qualified lead, which would allow your marketing and sales team to actually start pursuing and investing time on this lead. So you can do a lot of things with the statuses. It all depends upon how you want to capture it. So for now, I mean, I'm going to select lead qualified. Again, web address, if you have the web address of your lead, you can capture that. If you have the category of the lead, you can also categorize your leads by a particular industry or category over here. Now, talking about the actual business process, when you're entering a lead record, you might not have all these details. Perhaps you might have the email address of the lead or the phone number, but rest of the details are not unfolded at this point in time unless you start communicating with the lead, right? So you might
Hmm.
only have the name, you might only have the email address and the phone number. That's pretty much that you will be having at the lead creation stage. So you can
Yes.
expect to have very limited data, right? Maybe because just they give you their business card. So at that point, you only have a couple of things on that business card, and you will be simply using that to enter this information.
Yes.
You will select the subsidiary. So this is a subsidiary for which the lead is being generated. So if you have multiple subsidiaries, you will select the relevant subsidiary for which this lead has been generated. Okay, and then these are all custom fields, so we'll just be skipping them. And here you can also enter the contact details. So for this company, for this lead company, if there is a particular contact person, maybe their sales manager or maybe their procurement manager, whoever is responsible or the main point of contact for the deal, you can enter the contact information in this section. And then
Yes.
in the communication tab, you can create any task for this lead. So let's say you created this lead, and after 1 day or 2 day, you can set a task for yourself that you need to call this lead and make sure what their requirements are, something like that. So you can track your activities for this lead against this communication tab. You can also upload
Okay.
any files. So if there is any file that you need to attach against this lead record, if there is any tender document that this lead has shared, so that tender document can be shared here and uploaded here. So whenever you come on this lead, you can find all those files attached. And
Okay.
finally, you can also enter your user note. So if there is any particular note related to this lead, you can also capture this over here. So again, non-mandatory stuff. It's not mandatory to have this, but it's just good to have, and it's better to know all the options that you have when you're creating a lead record.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, Moving forward, we have address. So here you can also capture the address of this lead. So if you have the address available, you can provide the company, the addressee, person name, phone number, address one, address two, city, state, zip code, and all that regular address related information. So
Okay.
you have your address tab. In the sales
Mm-hmm.
tab, you can select your employee or the sales team responsible for this lead. So meaning that if you have 10 sales rep, you will assign a sales rep that is directly going to be working with this lead. So this is the person
Yes.
responsible to convert this lead into a customer. And once this lead is converted into a customer, and once you start doing your sales, this is the sales rep that would actually be assigned on all those sales transactions. And he is primarily the person that will be getting any sort of commission if your organization offers anything related to sales. So yeah, this is the person that is going to get all those commissions for the sales that he makes with this lead. Okay,
Yes. So
so
like you mean
I'm
he's the
actually,
concerned person between us and client, customer.
yeah, but this is your internal employee who is your
Yes.
sales
Right.
team person, and this is
Sales
the person
representative.
that will,
Right.
yeah, this is the person that will make sure that your deal is closed with this particular lead.
Correct.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna mark this primary. All right, so moving forward, you have the marketing tab. So here you can select how this lead was generated, like it was a trade show lead, or if there was any campaign that you guys ran, and from that campaign this lead was generated, or it was a referral or whatever. There could be multiple lead sources. So it could be an email, it could be your campaigns from which you generate this lead, or perhaps you went into a trade show, you had your own booth or stall, and this lead came walked in and give you your uh, I would say the business card or something like that. So there could be multiple ways you can generate a lead, and this is where you can capture that information. Again, this is all terminologies of sales and marketing side, but it's just good to know that in NetSuite you can capture all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Financials, again, this is all same. You have your terms, you can set your receivables account, and you can select your currency in which you will be doing the transactions. You can set your credit limit for this lead and all that regular customer stuff. Now, at this point, you might not be able to enter all this information. As I said, that this is a lead stage. This is a very early stage where you might not be able to determine all this information. So you can just skip
Mm-hmm.
them at this point in time. And once the lead is converted into a customer, that's when you can provide all this information, because this is more relevant to customer rather than a lead. So it's a
Yes.
very initial stage, and you cannot even determine the terms, right? Unless you do all the communication with the lead and all that stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
but again, you have the ability to do that. You can mark them as taxable. You can select the credit limit, select the price levels, add currencies. So this is all same stuff that you have on your customer record that would also apply to a lead. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean, then there are certain preferences. Again, pretty much similar to the customer record. If you by default want to send email to this to this lead, whenever you save any transaction, which we will see in a couple of moments. So you can mark them by default as for email. If you don't, you can just simply uncheck all these boxes. So email quotes, email sales orders, cash sales, fulfillments, all that stuff. So if you don't want NetSuite to by default send an email to this particular lead record, you can just uncheck all this information. And then we have
Yes.
system information. So here you can just simply mark this lead as inactive. So once you feel that you're no longer going to be doing any sort of transaction with this lead, you can just simply mark this as inactive, and you cannot. It will be not listed in your, you know, transaction forms.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that these are all the important tabs and all the important information that you can capture on the lead record. Once you have entered that, you can simply save it. Alright, again, I feel that there is a custom field that needs to be selected. Okay, I'm gonna remove my address. Okay, I'll save it. Okay, so now this lead record is saved, and now your sales rep can actually start working with this lead. And maybe, as I mentioned, they can directly email. So you have your communication tab over here. You can click on email, and from NetSuite you can start sending out emails to this lead. Let's say, what is your requirement, how many items you need, or whatever, all that regular sales pitching. So you can send out an email right away from NetSuite. So you can send the email address, you can select the message here, just like how you type it in Outlook or Gmail. You have all that information here. You can select any template, you can give your subject, you can attach any files if required, if you need to send out any catalogs or all that files to this particular lead. So you can send out emails right away from NetSuite. As I mentioned, you can track your activities. So if you need to make sure that you are doing certain tasks with this lead, you can select new task and mention this against this lead. So you don't miss out on any of your activities. If you need to set a phone call with this lead, you can select a new phone call here and make sure that you are doing all those activities. If you need to set an event with this particular lead, you can select new event and make sure that you create an event in NetSuite. And again, these are all activities that you're trying to track. And the idea is that the more information that you put in NetSuite, the more information is available for visibility in all the reports. So let's say if your sales manager needs to see what activities you performed against this lead, if you're capturing all those activities within NetSuite, it would give him a very good idea of how the progress is going on, right? So you
Yeah.
can mention how many phone calls that you have done with this lead. You can do your emails from NetSuite, and it will maintain all the history of the emails, and all that sales activities will be captured on the lead record. So again, very important from sales and marketing perspective, where they actually want to see how the sales rep are performing with the lead and what sort of activities these guys are doing, and they can review that, make sure that they are doing it in the right path. If there is anything wrong, I mean, the sales manager could chime in and ask the sales rep perhaps to actually schedule more events, more phone calls or emails to convert this lead into a customer. Okay, so this is the whole purpose
Yes.
of maintaining activities on